him as the Great Wall of America. Others have crowned him the Secretary of Defense. They say his words are made from the shattered dreams of his opponents, and his grip is so strong, he can crush a quarter into 5 nickels. Heck, he even saved his ducklings from disaster on the way here. Text Stevedore to 68405 for your chance to take the shot.
Hey guys, I'm Greg. Welcome to Gregsbeereview today. Let's go see what's in the fridge today, guys. Hey everybody, thanks for stopping by Greg's Beer Reviews today. We're going to do some novelty beer here, is what I call it. I'm not much into the fruity, spice, herbal beers, but this is something a little different. This is not your father's root beer, and this is a 5.9% root beer. Root beer with a little kick, if you will. And from what I've read, they do a 10% of this and a 19% version of this, but those two are only on draft where it's available, and it's not available around here as far as I found. So they're only bottling the 5.9%, which is almost a 6%. So, and I'll be straight up with you guys. I had one of these when I was down in North Carolina, and I was blown away. I'm not a typical root beer fan. I don't drink root beer. I don't drink sodas. My game plan during the day is I'll drink 2 cups of coffee in the morning, 2 big cups. And then I drink water all day long. And then when I get home, I'll have me 2 or 3 beers, whether I'm reviewing or whether I'm drinking a go-to beer. And if I've had a rough day, I might drink 4. But normally, typically, I'll only have 2 or 3, and then I'm done. I don't session beers anymore. I'm too old for that. I got tired of feeling like shit the next day. So I don't session beers, and I don't drink the same beer twice in the same day. So and there's enough craft beers out there with me with over 1,700 beer reviews, you know. And I've probably just barely scratched the surface, even though I've reviewed a couple of them. There's probably another 100 either in the cellar or the closet or on the counter waiting to get into the fridge that I have not reviewed yet, that I have not had. And there are tons out there that I can't get my hands on or have not purchased yet. So the sky's the limit on craft beer now. I mean, it has exploded, and there are just tons of varieties to try. And that's my game plan. I want to try every damn one of them before I leave this earth, before they throw the dirt on top of me. So, and as long as I'm not getting shit-faced every evening trying to do that, well, hopefully we'll be able to get through a few more of them. So, God willing anyway, so we'll see where it goes. But like I said, back to this beer. I hadn't seen it around here. I picked up some in North Carolina when I went down there. And actually, like I said, I had one while I was down there, and I was blown away. I mean, a lot of these beers are non-impressive to me. But this one was worthy. So I said, well, we want to review this for sure. So I made sure that I kept some to review or kept one to review. I do have a few more in there to have. The other half, I wasn't going to say the old lady. The other half is not a soda fan either. I'm not either. I don't drink sodas. And she wasn't super impressed with it. But I was. So let's get on with this and see where it ends up on the scale here, guys. It says here, commercial description is a 5.9 version, sold in 6 packs at 12-ounce bottles. And that's what I've got. That's what I bought. Like I said, the other 2, which are 10 and 19%, are on draft only. And I've not seen them around here. I would love to try them on draft to see how close they are to this. I know they're going to be a little more boozier than this is, but this, being a 6% root beer, this tastes just like either an A&W root beer or a Hires root beer. Some of those old-time root beers that had a wonderful taste, and this one did too. It had that taste, but it's almost a 6% beer, which I could not taste the alcohol in. None, absolutely none. If you poured this in a glass and gave it to somebody, they would swear it was a soda pop. And I'm blown away that they can brew something at 6% that you cannot taste the alcohol, or it doesn't change the taste of the root beer somewhat, one way or the other. So, looking forward to it. So, let's see where this one goes. Over to the food pairing for this. Like I said, this is a herb or / spice beer, which I don't care for a whole lot. This is a very sweet beer, just like a soda would be. I mean, like I said, I don't drink soda, so I'm not much into that sweet, syrupy taste that most of the Cokes, Pepsis, Dr. Peppers have. And plus, those drinks aren't good for you. I honestly believe that craft beer is better for you than soda pop. It don't have all the sugar, it don't have all the calories. It's better for you as long as you drink it in moderation. Now, if you're drinking 10 soda pops a day, or if you're drinking 10 beers a day, I don't know if there's going to be a whole lot of difference. But I cut the soda pops out of my life quite a few years ago. Now, I'm going to say that I never, ever, ever drink them, but I choose not to. Usually, I do not drink them. So I just soon have a nice cold glass of ice water during the day, especially if I'm working, as to drink a soda pop. So, food pairings for this one, it says here, general digestive aspartame. So, it doesn't fit into the beer judging class categories evidently, because it doesn't have any food pairings for that. Glassware, pint, becker, tumbler, nonic. I could use a pint glass for this, but I'm going to use a Google glass for this, just to enhance the aromas just a little bit. Because when I drank it in North Carolina, I was in a motel and poured it in a plastic cup, one of those little plastic cups in the room, and that's what I poured it in. We went down by the pool, and I drank it while we were down at the pool. So, but we're going to pour it in a glass, see what kind of aromas, and see how it looks in a real glass instead of a damn plastic cup. So, the beer is not recommended for extended cellarings, being a 6%er, so I would consider this just to be very similar to a macro lager or a low ABV beer that you'd want to drink kind of fresh. Looking at the bottle, it's got an old chap with a top hat and a cane standing beside an old. It looks like a whiskey barrel. It could be a root beer barrel. It says here, "Not your father's root beer, ale with the taste of spices." On the side here, it says Small Town Brewery out of La Crosse, Wisconsin. But I've got different information on this. It tells me here this is brewed at City Brewery, Melanie Brewing Company, and I guess they're out of Illinois. That's what the beer advocate's got here. Wakanda, Illinois. There may be a date on it somewhere. It's sweating kind of profusely here. I've got it out of the fridge, but I'm not seeing any kind of dating on this. And I had heard, it says beer with natural vanilla extract, other natural and artificial flavors, and caramel color. So, not a big fan of all the natural stuff I can deal with, but the artificial colors or flavoring, not a big fan of that at all. Unique ingredients with an unmistakable taste of nostalgia on the neck label here. Small Town Brewery makes specialty beers that utilize unique ingredients. So, like I said, I'm not seeing anything on the label here, but there may be something as far as dating on the bottle somewhere. And I had heard through the grapevine this is actually done by PBR, Patch Blue Ribbon. Don't know how much truth was into that. There's no inclination or no information of that on either of the websites here, either Gregsbeereview or Brewery. So I don't think we need to talk about anything else. We've gone through all the things we need to talk about. So let's get the cap off of this thing and give it in the glass. Just your standard dark black cap on here. This is probably as close to soda pop as I want to get. And it looks like a cola coming out. Maybe just a tad darker. Not heavy carbonation. And I'm getting the root beer smell from here already. I mean, that far away from my nose and I can smell the root beer. Over to the light, it is a rich red ruby color. I can see the ball through it. So it's not black like a stout. It looks like a cola in the glass. It does. It looks like it. And like I said, I don't drink a lot of root beers, and it's been a long, long time since I had a root beer. Maybe even 30 or 40 years, maybe a kid the last time I had a root beer. I don't drink a lot of sodas, guys. I don't need to with the shape that I have. It's just too much sugar. That's all it is. And as you can see, carbonation, the head is gone. What was there is gone. I mean, it looks like a wine in the glass. There's almost no carbonation. And over to the light, I can't see a whole lot of bubbles streaming up, so it's not super carbonated in my opinion. Let's get a nose on it. If I was blindfolded and somebody passed this under my nose to smell, I would smell that. Well, that's root beer. That's higher root beer or A&W root beer. Maybe a prime candidate to throw some vanilla ice cream in and have a float. And just a float with a kick. That's a 6% alcohol kick good out of it. That smells exactly, to the freaking T of a standard root beer that you would pour out of a soda bottle. Hires or an A&W. Those two come to mind because that's what I remember drinking as a kid when I did have a root beer. There may be others that produce root beers, but I'm not aware of it. But Hires and A&W are big name root beer producers. There's absolutely zero alcohol in this. None. Zero. None. That smells exactly what I remember A&W and Hires root beer smelling like. It does. It is the perfect clone to one of those. I can't think of anything that I would say would be different. Smells like root beer. Smells like a soda pop. Let's give it a taste. Cheers. There is absolutely no inclination in the taste or the aroma that tells you this has alcohol in it. None. Absolutely none. This is the best clone of a soda pop or a root beer soda pop that I have ever tasted. The root beer spices are there. I am so blown away by how close this is to a standard root beer, an A&W or a Hires root beer. There's absolutely no hint of alcohol in this. None. None. You could pour this in a glass with ice and hand this to your grandma, and she would not be able to tell the damn difference. I am 100% convinced of that. It is so close to that that I personally think it's unfreaking detectable as far as the alcohol in here. I don't think anybody could pour one of these side by side and tell the difference. I absolutely do not think you could. I know that I can't. That is just unbelievable to me. They can produce a root beer that has almost 6% alcohol if you cannot distinguish from a soda pop. I am blown away. I am blown away. Alright, I'm going to take it back and sip on it just a little bit, not long. I'm going to come back and do the final grade on this one, but I am blown away by this beer. Alright guys, I'm back. Got just a little left here. I got two numbers for you. judging it on what it is, which is supposed to be an alcohol version of a root beer. It's a 10. It is a 10. I mean, it's exactly what they say it is. It's not your father's root beer because it has alcohol in it. But as far as tasting like a root beer, it is freaking spot on. The only thing I can say is when you pour an A&W or a higher root beer, you're going to have a big frothy head on those, where this one does not. It does not have that big frothy head. It could use a little more carbonation, in my opinion, if it's to resemble something like that. But as far as tasting like a root beer, it is freaking spot on. Okay. Smells identical to those root beers. And to me, it tastes identical to what I remember those root beers tasting like. It's freaking spot on, guys. It is spot on. I'm getting zero detection of any alcohol in this beer. None. So, as far as that aspect of it, it is a 10. Now, on the other hand, if you're expecting to taste some alcohol in this beer, even being almost 6% or 5.9%, it's not there. It is not there. So, as far as being a herbal or a spice beer, it's probably a B+. It's probably a 7. Because you're not going to get any beer taste in this beer. It does not taste like beer. It's not there. It's just, it is non-existent. It does not taste like a beer. It tastes like a soda pop. It tastes like root beer. It does. It does. So, for where they're going with this to be a root beer, but not your father's root beer because it has alcohol in it, it is spot on. It's a 10. But as far as being an herbal spice beer, I'm not getting it. I mean, it's a 6 or a 7. So I don't know where I want to leave this as far as being a beer because it does not taste like beer. Like I said, if you could pour this in a glass and throw a couple ice cubes in it and give it to your grandma, she ain't gonna know the damn difference. She will absolutely not be able to detect that this is a beer. Not gonna happen. Not going to happen. So, as far as where I'm going to leave it, I'm impressed with this beer. I told you guys earlier that I am blown away by what they're able to accomplish with this particular beer, and not to have any alcohol taste whatsoever or any off flavors or anything like that. It is spot on to taste like a root beer. So, I'm going to average that out. Between a 10 and a 7, I could give it an 8 or a 9. And being as good as it is, even though I don't drink sodas, I'm gonna give it a 9. It's a 9 out of 10. I could easily give it an 8, but it is exactly where they wanted to go with this. I don't know what else to say. If you're expecting beer, it's not going to taste like it. If you want a root beer, if you're a big fan of root beer, and you want to try this and just see how close it is to a root beer, I think you will be really pleasantly surprised with what they've done with this beer. It is it's pretty freaking awesome. It is. So I don't drink sodas, but it's pretty damn tasty. Very sweet, like most root beers are. But the alcohol is non-detectable. They've done a very, very well job of brewing this beer to be non-detectable as far as alcohol. Tastes just like a root beer to me, guys. It does. So, if I was putting a numeric rating on this beer, it would probably be a 90, between a 92 and a 94. It's pretty damn tasty. I do think it's an A beer, guys. I really do. It's pretty impressive. So that's where I'm going to leave it. I'll let you make up your own mind if you've had it or if you see it. Pick it up, give it a try. Like I said, if you're expecting beer, you're going to be disappointed. But if you want something that tastes like a root beer, and you're not going to be able to taste the alcohol, that's it. That's the one right there. So, Over to Beer Advocate, they say 95, world class. Wouldn't argue with that whatsoever. It's a world class root beer with almost 6% alcohol in it. Undetectable. Can't taste it. So, and over to Gregsbeer. Gregsbeer says overall 87, but 95 in the style. And I agree with that 100%. It's unbelievable what they've been able to do with this beer and not have the alcohol and be able to be tasted. So, very impressive. A lot of buzz on the internet about this beer. It's pretty impressive. It really, really is. So, let me know if you've had this one, what you think of it. I enjoyed it. Like I said, I don't drink a lot of sodas or root beers anymore, but this is spot on to be an undetectable alcohol root beer. So, let me know what you think if you've had it. And come on back tomorrow. Let's go see what's in that fridge. See you then. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Gregsbeereview today.
One piece of bacon.